Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take all that raw material, your notes, your sources, research, and we really try to turn it into something you can use right away, some actionable insight. So today, we're diving into the B.A.L.L. Season 1 opening night. Think of it like we're prepping a scouting report, for the GMs around the league. The season kicked off October 3rd, 2025 at the MAP Sports Facility. Big start. And there were three pretty decisive games right off the bat.
Yeah, decisive is the word.
We had College taking on Royale, then Raptors 2.0 versus Jazz, and Mamba against the Grizzlies. And the mission for you, our listener, is pretty critical here. We need to get a quick handle on the early narratives shaping up in the league. We got to flag any statistical oddities, maybe things that hint at future trends, and definitely spotlight those players who just burst onto the scene, the emerging stars.
Exactly. We're not just, reading off scores.
Right. We're looking for the actual blueprints for winning in this new league.
And that's the key thing, isn't it? The source material we've got, it gives us more than just who won or lost. If you look closely, these opening game summaries, they start to lay down some, non-negotiable rules for winning here.
Okay.
So our job today is to go beyond just counting stats. We really need to zoom in on, I think, three really powerful trends that jumped out immediately.
Which are?
Okay, first, the huge, almost catastrophic impact of turnovers, especially forced ones. Second, how vital rebounding dominance is strategically. And third, the rise of these super efficient star players, the ones who can just warp a defense.
And the results from night one really highlight that, don't they? College, Raptors 2.0, Mamba all start 1-0.
Yeah.
And every single win was a blowout. Decisive victory. These weren't nail-biters.
Not at all. These were teams establishing dominance early.
Which means the statistical gaps we're seeing, they weren't just small differences. They point to some fundamental breakdowns or, fundamental successes in how these teams played.
Precisely. Okay, so let's start unpacking that. Let's find the common threads, the sort of shared DNA between those three winners. And the biggest factor, I think, the one that really separated winners from losers, was ball security. Or maybe the lack of it, turnovers.
Yeah, the number of forced turnovers was just crippling for the teams that lost. Absolutely killed their offense.
Yeah.
Probably their morale, too.
Oh, it's crystal clear in the numbers. It's almost shockingly consistent. You've got Royale with 21 turnovers.
21.
The Grizzlies gave it up 18 times, and the Jazz weren't much better with 16.
Wow.
That averages out to, over 18 turnovers a game for the losing teams. Think about that. That's 18 possessions just gone. No shot attempt, nothing.
And the winners.
Right.
They absolutely capitalized on that. College racked up 16 steals. Raptors 2.0 grabbed 10 steals.
Right. And this isn't just about, throwing the ball out of bounds accidentally.
No, this suggests live ball turnovers. Steals.
It mean.
It means instant transition opportunities.
Yeah.
Runouts, easy buckets before the defense can even think about setting up.
And the notes specifically mention College using those 16 steals to fuel their fast break. That tells you something right there.
So a key winning strategy, at least early in B.A.L.L. Season 1, seems to be this aggressive defense that actually generates offense for you.
That's pillar number one. Definitely. High-pressure D creating easy points.
Okay, so that's one pillar. What's the second? You mentioned rebounding. Seems just as critical, especially for, sustained success.
Absolutely. Rebounding, and specifically the ability to extend possessions through offensive rebounds.
The O-boards.
Exactly. Look at two of the winners, Mamba and College. Their rebounding numbers were almost identical and really impressive.
How so?
Both teams grabbed 47 total rebounds. Okay, strong number. But the key, both pulled down 15 offensive rebounds. 15.
15-second chances. That's huge.
It's an enormous advantage. It's treating extra scoring opportunities basically out of nowhere.
And Mamba, you mentioned them. They took it even further, right? Their rebounding was on another level.
Oh, yeah. Mamba finished with a plus 22 rebounding margin. Plus 22.
Wow.
That's not just winning the boards. That's utterly dominating them. It's demoralizing for the other team.
You can imagine, right? You play great defense, force a tough shot, finally get the miss, and then they just snatch the rebound for an easy putback.
Exactly. It just deflates a defense, wears them down physically and mentally.
So tactically, this suggests the winning teams weren't just, taller. They were more focused, more aggressive.
Focused, aggressive, disciplined in boxing out, crashing the glass hard. Mamba's huge margin points to a clear team strategy. Win the physical battle, make second effort, plays a core part of their game. It's a competitive advantage.
Okay, so we've got defensive pressure creating turnovers, and we've got rebounding control. That brings us to the third element you mentioned, star power.
Right, because the summaries immediately pointed out three specific players who didn't just play well, they played with incredible efficiency and gravity. They really carried their teams.
They were the engines for these wins.
Absolutely. In a new league, you often see success built around a cornerstone player first. And the
Hmm.
names that popped up were Armin Brown for college,
Yeah.
Sean Vestal for Raptors 2.0,
Uh-huh.
and Alan Zabala for Mamba.
And what ties them together? Just big scoring numbers.
Not just scoring, but scoring efficiently relative to how much they shot the ball, their volume. They weren't just chucking up shots.
Gotcha.
They were scoring in a way that maximized their team's chances.
Hmm.
They set a really high bar for offensive performance right out of the get. Any team hoping to compete needs an answer for that kind of individual production.
All right, makes sense. Let's dive into the first game specifically then. College getting the win over Royale, 77-63 at home. Looking at the score, you might think, okay, solid defensive win, but the data, like you said, suggests it was more complex. Maybe star-led defense fueling a star-led offense.
That's a good way to put it. College's formula felt like pure controlled aggression. They shot 41% from the field, decent, not amazing, but they took 82 shots, so high volume. And critically, they backed that up with those 47 rebounds, including the 15 offensive boards.
Right.
But the real story, like you hinted, was the defense. Holding Royale to just 38% shooting and forcing that league-high 21 turnovers, that's the killer stat.
So when you combine the rebounding advantage, they were plus 10 on the boards,
Right.
the 16 steals. That pretty much explains the 14-point win right there.
It really does. When you force that many live ball turnovers, your own offense gets easier. You're getting layups, transition buckets, instead of grinding out half-court sets.
The defense basically became their best playmaker.
Exactly, and that leads us straight to the guy who benefited most, Armin Brown.
Yeah, tell me about his game. The numbers look huge.
Immense is the right word, 35 points. He shot 15 for 27 from the field. Plus, he added 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals.
Wow, a monster double-double. He basically accounted for half their offense.
Pretty much. Now, 15 of 27 isn't like hyper-efficient shooting, but on that kind of volume, it shows he had the green light and he delivered. He really set the standard for scoring gravity on opening night.
But it wasn't just a one-man show, right? College had some support.
Crucial support. You need that balance. Chester Kamiya chipped in 14 points, and what's notable is his efficiency. He was 7 for 11 on 2-pointers.
Okay, so a reliable inside or mid-range threat takes pressure off Brown.
Precisely. And then you had Jeffrey Tiki doing the dirty work. He logged a double-double himself, 10 points, 12 rebounds.
Nice.
So when your main scorer, Brown, knows he's got a guy finishing inside like Katamiya and a dedicated rebounder like Tiki, he can just focus on scoring. It's a really clear, effective structure. It worked perfectly in Game 1.
Okay, let's flip to Royale's side then, because this is like a classic case of, well, wasted individual performances.
Absolutely. They got hit by those twin killers we talked
Yeah.
about. The 21 turnovers, first and foremost, and
yeah.
then really poor shooting from three-point range. Only 32%, 9 for 31.
Ouch. That combo is just toxic for an offense. Kills possessions, prevents you from using your strengths.
And they did have strengths. They had star power. Joel San Diego scored 26 points, and he was fantastic from deep hit, 6 of his 13 threes.
Impressive.
And Evan Bulise was super efficient, 21 points on just 9 for 17 shooting. Plus, Danny Martinez fought hard on the glass with 11 rebounds.
Okay, so here's the million-dollar question for the analysis. You've got San Diego and Bulose combining for 47 points, often efficiently. Why didn't that translate? Why didn't that keep them in the game?
Right. It's a critical question, and it likely comes back to the nature of those 21 turnovers.
Meaning?
Well, with College getting 16 steals, it's highly probable many of those turnovers were live ball steals, not just bad passes out of bounds.
Leading to easy buckets for College.
Exactly. Big momentum swings. Maybe San Diego and Bulise were trying to create too much on their own. Isolation plays, perhaps? And College's defense, being aggressive, maybe use traps or quick double teams.
So the Stars were efficient when they shot, but maybe they were turnover-prone getting to the shot.
That's a strong possibility. Or the turnovers were happening elsewhere, high up the court, leading to those transition points for College. A turnover leading to a fast break is like a 4-point swing they score. You don't even get a look.
And the lack of scoring support beyond those two? The rest of the team only scored 16 points combined.
Yeah, that points to a serious lack of offensive balance. It makes it much easier for the defense to just key in on the two main guys. If there's new threat elsewhere, the defense's job becomes, well, simpler. Royale couldn't overcome that lack of depth and the turnovers.
All right, let's shift gears to Game 2. This one was, well, statistically weird. Raptors 2.0 beating the Jazz 49-34.
Yeah, 49 points. Winning a pro game scoring under 50 is something else.
It just screams defense, like suffocating, grinded out
It
defense.
really does. This game was definitely an outlier, but maybe it gives us the clearest picture of what Raptors 2.0 wants to be about.
Which-
Tactical, grinding, maybe even ugly defense wins games. It wasn't pretty basketball. But what's really fascinating, despite that incredibly low score,
Yeah.
Raptors 2.0 actually showed really good team execution on offense. They had 15 assists in that game.
15 assists on only 49 points.
Exactly. Compare that to the Jazz, who only managed 7 assists all game.
That's a huge difference. So nearly a third of their baskets were assisted, even in a rock fight like that.
Right. Shows that even when the scoring was tough, they stuck to moving the ball, finding the open man, textbook team basketball, which probably kept the Jazz defense off balance.
They definitely struggled shooting, though, especially from deep.
Oh, absolutely. 13.6% from 3. They were 3 for 22. That confirms the grinded out label. They weren't winning with jump shots.
So how did they get to 49?
Well, their overall field goal percentage was 37.5%. Not great, but way better than the Jazz. It suggests they were disciplined, they recognized the three wasn't falling, and they worked the ball inside or for better mid-range looks. They adapted their offense.
And who was the standout player in this low-scoring affair?
Sean Vestil. He was the model of efficiency in a really tough environment. He scored 20 points.
Okay, almost half their total.
Exactly, and he did it on just 8 for 11 shooting.
8 for 11. That's incredible efficiency, especially in a game this slow.
Unbelievable. He provided the scoring punch they absolutely needed, and he barely missed. That's pure scoring gravity right there.
And the supporting cast. In a game like this, everyone has to contribute something, right?
Totally. And they did. Look at Dantrell Williams. Only scored 6 points, but his stat line is packed. 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals.
The glue guy, doing everything else.
Absolutely. Rebounding, connecting passes, disrupting the other team's offense. Then you had Pat Hidalgo with 8 points, 2 assists, 2 steals. Joseph Berizzo added 4 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals.
So contributions across the board. Rebounding, passing, steals. It reinforces that team ball idea. Everyone chipping in, especially defensively.
Exactly. A deep commitment to their philosophy. Share the load on both ends.
Okay, now we have to talk about the other side.
Yeah.
The Jazz's performance. You called it a statistical nightmare.
It really was. Shooting 22.4% from the field on 13 makes in 58 attempts. That's just catastrophic.
Yeah, you almost never see a team shoot that poorly for an entire game.
It's incredibly hard to win shooting like that. It suggests a total breakdown. Either they couldn't figure out the Raptors 2.0 defense at all, or they just couldn't execute anything. No rhythm whatsoever.
What do you think it was? Was the Raptors' D just that good? Packing the paint, forcing bad shots?
Given the Raptors' focus on steals and the low score, I'd bet they were denying passes, pressuring the ball handler, forcing the Jazz into really tough, contested shots late in the shot clock.
Makes sense. Desperation heaves.
Probably. But even in that mess, Mark Mendoza managed to put up a double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, so some individual effort could still find a way.
But it wasn't nearly enough. The rest of the team struggled badly.
Yeah, look at Aisha Nutter-Solano grabbed 8 rebounds, which is good, but scored 0 points, went 0 for 4. And Noah Hagbank scored 8 points, but it took him 17 shots to get there. That's really inefficient.
So terrible shooting percentages across the board. Plus, they still had 16 turnovers.
Right. Every possession felt like a massive struggle for them. They just couldn't keep pace with the Raptors' defensive intensity. Leads to that huge assist difference, the massive shooting gap, and the blowout loss, even in a low-scoring game.
Okay, on to game 3. This one felt like the opposite of the Raptors game. Mamba versus the Grizzlies. Mamba wins big, 79-53.
Yeah, if Raptors 2.0 won ugly, Mamba won beautifully. This was an absolute clinic. They set the bar really high for offensive efficiency and just overall team dominance.
Their stats look pretty incredible across the board.
They really did. It suggests Mamba might be the team to beat right out of the gate. League highs everywhere. They shot 50% from the field, 34 for 68.
50% on opening night? That's smooth.
That's excellent shot selection, great execution, really polished offense from day one.
And the assist number jumped out too.
21 assists, also a lead high for the night. That signals incredible ball movement, very few isolation plays probably. Just a total commitment to finding the best possible shot. High level of team chemistry already.
And they combine that offensive precision with, well, just crushing the boards.
Utter physical dominance. Those same numbers we saw from college. 47 total rebounds, 15 offensive boards, but for Mamba, it led to that staggering plus 22 margin.
So you put it all together, 50% shooting, 21 assists, and a plus 22 rebounding advantage.
Yeah, good luck beating that. It's almost mathematically impossible. They controlled the tempo, they controlled possessions through rebounding, and they maximized every scoring chance. Just total control.
And who led the charge for Mamba? Ellen Zabala.
Zabala was their efficient engine, yeah. 20 points, but get this, on 10 for 12 shooting.
10 of 12, that's surgical.
It really is. Clinical
Oh.
finishing. Doesn't look like he was relying on threes or free throws much. Just devastatingly precise inside, probably forcing the Grizzlies' defense to collapse.
Which then opens things up for everyone else.
Exactly where the depth comes in. Supporting Zabala was, well, the notes just list him as player 33.
Okay, unusual name.
A bit, yeah. But his role seems clear. He scored 16 points, but he took 15 three-pointers, hitting 4.
Ah, the high-volume floor spacer.
Precisely. So Mamba has that inside force with Zabala, and then this aggressive outside threat with player 33 to keep defenses honest. He also chipped in with 4 assists and 2 steals, so some playmaking too.
And the depth didn't stop there, right? The notes mentioned several players in double figures.
That's what separates the good teams from the potentially elite ones. 5 Mamba players hit double figures, and the bench efficiency was just wild.
Like who?
Michael Tran came off the bench, scored 11 points on 5 for 6 shooting, and grabbed 7 rebounds. Hyper efficient. Jody David added 11 points. Miles Costales had 10. Both contributed on the boards and with playmaking, too.
So the scoring was deep and the playmaking was spread out.
Yep. Pat Costiales had 4 assists. Bonturso had 2. That helps explain the 21 total assists. The responsibility for creating offense wasn't just on 1 or 2 guys. It makes Mamba incredibly hard to scout and defend.
Especially when your bench guys are shooting over 80%, like Tarian was.
Right. Speaks volumes about their preparation and their talent execution.
Okay, let's look at the Grizzlies' side of this blowout. Seems like a total defensive collapse, made worse by their own offensive issues.
Yeah, they just couldn't keep up. Shot poorly overall, 33.9%. Even worse from 3, only 20%, hitting just 7 of 35 attempts.
35 threes, only hit 7. Ouch.
Combine that poor shooting with 18 turnovers. Yeah, recipe for a big loss.
And where were those turnovers coming from?
This brings us back to that core issue. Ball security from your main creators. Their top 2 scorers, Jerome Tittle and Juwan Rex, both really struggled with turnovers.
How badly?
Tittle actually had a decent double 14 points, 11 rebounds, even 3 steals. But he also committed 6 turnovers.
Okay, that cancels out some good work. And Rex.
Rex also scored 14 points, but he also had 6 turnovers.
Wow, so their 2 main guys combined for 12 turnovers.
Exactly. And that, right there, is the story of their loss. It wasn't just sloppy passes. It suggests Mamba's defense knew exactly who to target. They pressured Tittle and Rex into critical mistakes.
And when your best players can't hold onto the ball.
The whole offense breaks down,
Yeah.
and the defense is constantly under pressure from Mamba's efficient counterattacks. The Grizzlies absolutely have to fix that ball security problem, like, immediately.
Okay, so let's synthesize all this. We've dissected the 3 opening night games. What's the big picture takeaway about the early strategic landscape in B.A.L.L. Season 1?
Well, we've definitely seen 3 successful but quite different ways to win emerge from those 1-0 teams.
3 distinct formulas.
Yeah, you could say 3 pillars of success showed up. First, you had college, star-driven offense, centered on Armin Brown's gravity, but powered by that intense defensive pressure, 16 steals fueling transition points. Their model is like high-risk, high-reward defense.
Okay, Model 1.
Then, Raptors 2.0. They proved you can win ugly. A low-scoring grind built on just elite team ball movement. Remember, the 15 assists and suffocating defense that held the Jazz to 34 points. Their model is all about systematic defensive containment.
Got it. Defense first, grind it out.
And finally, Mamba. They showcased maybe the ultimate formula, right? Unmatched offensive efficiency, 50% shooting, 21 assists combined with that just overwhelming rebounding dominance, the plus 22 margin. Their model is about maximizing every single possession through execution and physical control.
That diversity in winning styles makes the next round of games really interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Because now we can use this opening night data to preview the October 11th matchups. These games suddenly feel like crucial tests for these different approaches.
Okay, lay them out for us. What should we be watching for?
Well, the headliner has to be Mamba versus Raptors 2.0.
Oh yeah, the clash of styles.
Totally. Mamba's hyper-efficient offense and rebounding machine versus the Raptors' suffocating low-scoring defense. This game poses the big question. Can that Raptors defense, which held a team to 34, actually contain Zabala and that 50% shooting Mamba offense?
Or will Mama's ball movement and rebounding muscle finally crack the Raptors' defensive shell.
Exactly. The tactical battle there is going to be fascinating.
All right, what else?
Then you've got college versus Grizzlies. This is a huge test of resilience for the Grizzlies. We just saw them commit 18 turnovers and shoot 20% from three.
Right.
Now they face college, who just forced 21 turnovers and has Armin Brown capable of dropping 35. Can the Grizzlies fix their ball security issues, especially with Tittle and Rex, fast enough?
If not, it could be another blowout built on punishing mistakes.
Very likely. And the final game is Royale versus Jazz.
The battle of the 0-1 teams needing a turnaround.
Call it the redemption game. Both teams fundamentally failed on opening night, just in different ways. Royale had the league-worst 21 turnovers. Jazz had that historically bad 22.4% shooting.
So who fixes their biggest flaw first?
That's the question. Will Royale protect the ball better and finally leverage San Diego and Bellis's scoring? Or can the Jazz just hit some shots and make their defensive effort count? The winner here shows they can adapt, which is crucial in a new league.
Yeah, it definitely sets up a compelling second week. Teams have to adjust quickly. If you didn't meet those standards for defense, rebounding, and ball control on night one, you're already playing catch-up.
No doubt about it.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the message from opening night seems pretty clear. Control the glass, protect the basketball. That was the foundation.
Absolutely. If you couldn't get second chances or if you kept giving the ball away for easy scores, even brilliant individual efforts ended up just being, footnotes and a loss.
The data really paints that picture.
It establishes the tactical baseline. But I want to leave you, the listener, with one final thought, something to chew on that goes beyond just the stats.
We saw Mamba dominate with offensive firepower, scoring 79 points with incredible efficiency. We saw our Raptors 2.0 dominate with defensive grit, winning with only 49 points. Now, based purely on this opening night evidence, which approach do you think is more sustainable over a full season? Is it the high-flying offense and consistent execution of Mamba? Or is it the defensive containment, the grinded-out style of the Raptors?
Offensive firepower versus defensive containment for the long haul.
Yeah. Think about the energy required for both styles, the wear and tear. Which philosophy holds up better week after week in B.A.L.L. Season 1?
That is an excellent strategic question to ponder, especially heading into that Mamba versus Raptors game. The league's identity is forming right now.
All right, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. Until next time.
We'll see you then.